You know that feeling when an ad pops up online and it feels like it's, well, reading your mind? Or how your streaming service just knows the perfect show to recommend next? Well, the answer to that mystery, more often than not, is artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and really look at the huge role AI plays in the marketing we see every single day. So let's just dive right in. I mean, what used to feel like total science fiction is now just our daily reality. Bill Gates really hit the nail on the head with this one. AI isn't about some far-off future with robots anymore. Nope. It's a real tool right now that's completely changing how businesses connect with us. It's making everything, from shopping to just kicking back and watching a movie, way more personalized than it's ever been. And listen, this isn't some tiny niche trend we're talking about. Get this. A huge global survey found that a whopping 87% of marketing pros are already using AI to link up our online and offline experiences. I mean, 87%. That is a massive majority. It just goes to show you how deep this technology runs already. This isn't something that's coming, it's here, and it's the reality of marketing today. All right, so let's start with where you're already bumping into this stuff, probably without even giving it a second thought. AI marketing isn't some abstract idea for the future. It's the engine humming away in the background of so many services you use every single day. I mean, think about it. The last time you used one of those little chatbots to ask a question on a website, that's AI. Or got a travel recommendation that was just spookily perfect? Yep, that's AI too. Those are the classic examples. But it's also powering these huge, ambitious projects, like Amazon's plan for 30-minute drone deliveries. And these things aren't just little conveniences, They represent a massive shift in how businesses even think about operating. And that right there perfectly sets up the biggest change that AI is bringing to the table. We're moving away from a model where businesses just react to what we want and into a world where they can actually predict it. What's so fascinating is how it completely reverses the logic. I mean, for decades, the model was super simple, right? You shop for something, you buy it, and then the company ships it to you. Easy. But AI, well, it flips that whole idea completely on its head. Thanks to predictive analytics, some companies are now trying out a shipping then shopping model. And you're probably asking, what on earth does that even mean? Well, Stitch Fix is the perfect example of this in action. Their AI crunches all this data, your style, your size, even feedback from other people who have similar tastes, and it predicts what you're going to love. Then, and this is the crazy part, they ship you a whole box of clothes before you've even picked a single thing. You just keep what you like, send back what you don't. It's a huge shift from us having to find products to products literally finding us. Okay, so how does this all actually work? I mean, how can a piece of code predict your personal fashion sense? It really boils down to three main capabilities that marketers are tapping into. You can kind of think of it like a three-step process. First, you have the analytical part, the ability to just understand massive amounts of data. Then, that analysis fuels the technological tools that get the work done automatically. And when you put those two together, you get strategic efficiency, which lets companies adapt to things on the fly. All right, let's break each of those down. So first up is that analytical capability. The best way to think about it is like giving a business X-ray vision. Suddenly, they have the power to see through these mountains of data and pull out these really deep insights about what actually makes us tick as customers. And some companies get really creative with this. For example, Procter & Gamble actually installed smart faucets in people's homes to get real-time data on how they actually use their dish soap. I mean, think about that. That kind of deep behavioral data was pretty much impossible to get at any kind of scale before AI came along. Okay, next up is technological capability. So if the analysis part is the X-ray vision, then this is like putting the whole thing on autopilot. This is all about using AI to automate the really complex stuff, like writing ad copy or buying and tweaking digital ads on the fly. A great example is this Australian retailer called Red Balloon. They use an AI named Albert. And Albert isn't just buying ads randomly. No, it's analyzing data from everywhere, tweaking the ad designs, and managing the entire ad budget across places like Google and Facebook, all while learning and getting better on its own. And that brings us to the third piece, strategic efficiency. You can think of this one as the shapeshifter. It's the ability to use AI to be incredibly quick and agile, adapting to changes in the market instantly so you don't get left behind in this crazy fast-paced world. And this is where things start to get really futuristic. Strategic efficiency isn't just about what's happening today, it's about getting ready for what's coming next.
This is the capability that lets companies start playing with emerging tech, like the metaverse and augmented reality, all with the goal of creating these incredibly immersive, personalized experiences for us down the line.
Okay, so this all sounds incredibly powerful, right? And it is. But you know the old saying, with great power comes great responsibility. And that brings us to what might be the most important part of this whole conversation, the ethics of AI in marketing. Because underneath all of this amazing efficiency and personalization, there are some pretty big risks that we really need to talk about. The tech is just moving so fast, way faster than our ability to create rules and ethical guidelines for it. And the central trade-off is really a double-edged sword. On one hand, we love hyperpersonalization. It makes our lives easier, the things we see are more relevant, it's great. But on the other hand, that whole system is fueled by our personal data. And that creates huge risks when it comes to privacy and security. The more an AI knows about you, the better it can tailor things for you. But it also means your information is that much more vulnerable.
But maybe the scariest, most hidden danger of all is something called algorithmic bias. Basically, this is when the AI system makes mistakes that aren't random, they're systematic, and they create unfair outcomes, like favoring one group of people over another. And the reason this happens is simple. AI learns from data that we humans create, so it can end up learning and even amplifying our own worst biases. And the consequences of this in the real world are incredibly serious. For example, one major study found that facial recognition software was way worse at identifying women with darker skin. Another investigation found a healthcare algorithm that was less likely to refer Black patients for extra medical care, even when they were actually sicker. And then, of course, there was the huge controversy when Facebook allowed advertisers for housing to exclude people based on their ethnic affinity, which is a clear violation of fair housing laws. So with all this incredible potential on one side and these really serious ethical problems on the other, what does it actually take for a company to succeed with AI and do it responsibly for the long haul? Well, it really comes down to three key things. First, you need data. It's the fuel, the lifeblood that makes the whole AI engine run. Second, you need talent. You've got to have smart people who can build these systems, manage them, and critically guide them ethically. And finally, and maybe most importantly, you need trust. Because if customers don't trust you with their data, that fuel supply dries up and the entire system just falls apart. And all of this leaves us with one last, massive question to think about. As these AI systems get smarter and start making more decisions on their own, that line of who's responsible gets really, really blurry. So when an AI makes a call that's biased or unfair, or that even causes real harm, who's accountable? Who's responsible? That's the fundamental challenge we have to figure out as we push deeper into this new frontier.